Whether it's by reading the Barefoot Investor book or just the Royal Commission making you reconsider your super fund, more people than ever are looking to switch their account from where they are to a new account. This could be a really good option for you. One of the biggest mistakes I see, however, is not considering your insurances before you switch your super. In this video, I'm going to share with you 4 steps so that you can follow these and not have any surprises when you move your super from your old account to your new. It was just after I'd finished school. I was 18, I was at uni, I was working, and I was also living at home with my parents. I'd come home, drop my bag in my room after being at work all day, came upstairs and my mum was awesome. She put on a spread for us all and we were sitting around having dinner. During dinner, my dad looked over to me and he said, "Craig, we're going to need to start charging you $150 a week board." I said back to my dad, "If you need to borrow money, that's fine, but there is no way that I'm going to be paying you $150 a week." To say that went down well isn't quite accurate. Heated words, backwards and forwards between my dad and I, but the result was me backing up my car, packing in all my stuff, and that was the day that I moved out of home. You see, the reason I share this with you is that on that day, I'd made an emotional and very short-sighted decision. I quickly learned that the cost of rent, paying my own bills, putting food on my table, doing my own washing and ironing, all added up to much more than $150. But at the time, I was so emotional and hasty in my decision that I didn't consider this and left myself in a worse position. I see a really similar thing to this when it comes to your super. See, once you've made up your mind that your current fund isn't for you, it's quite often that you want to set up your new account as soon as possible, which is completely fair enough. So what you do, you get excited, you go online, you set up your new account, and you roll all your money from your existing account into your new account, only to find that your existing insurance has been cancelled. The Barefoot Investor has been amazing at highlighting the impact of fees on your superannuation outcome. There's also been the widely successful Compare the Pair advertising campaign that I'm sure you've seen on TV that does exactly the same thing in comparing the impact of fees on your ultimate balance in super. I get lots of you contacting me after you've switched superannuation funds only to find out that your insurance costs are either more expensive, they've required you to undergo a medical and you've now got a loading or exclusion that you didn't have before, or in the most severe cases, they're not prepared to offer you cover at all. So today, I've put together these 4 steps that when followed will help you avoid making these same mistakes. Step number 1, go online and get a quote from the new superannuation fund. Once you know how much cover you need, go online to your new superannuation account and get a quote for that level of cover that you want to have in place. If you don't want to go online, pick up the phone, give the insurance company a call, ask them to do a quote for you and get them to email this across to you. If you are stuck and you don't know how much insurance you need, I've included for you in the comments below a link to a tool that will walk you through how to get your very own personalised report. If you're following the Barefoot Investor's advice and Host Plus is something that you're considering, I've also included a link to a video where I've shown you how to do your very own Host Plus quote and how this compares to the rest of the market. Once you have this quote, you're going to be able to compare that to what you're currently spending. So step number 2 is to compare it with your current policy. There are 2 major factors to compare when it comes to your insurance. The first one is price and the second one is features. Now that you have your quote from the new provider, firstly we're going to have a look at how the price compares between your current and your new. There are some tricks that the insurance companies play here, so before you jump ahead, make sure that you're comparing apples with apples. Now the biggest difference comes down to whether or not the insurance company has applied the tax credit for paying for these premiums from your super fund. Essentially, this tax credit's a 15% discount on the premiums you pay. Some will show you the premiums net of this tax credit already been applied, and there's others that will show you the gross premium before they've applied this tax credit. So before comparing the final premiums, make sure that you're comparing apples with apples, either both net or both gross. Now that you've compared the price, it's time to have a look at these policies from a features perspective. This is where it gets a little bit more difficult for you because most of the companies will refer you back to what they call the PDS or Product Disclosure Statement. These 100+ page documents are notoriously difficult to get succinct answers and make it very difficult to ascertain what's important to you. We use an independent research software to do this, which will compare each of the policies and give them a score out of 100. It will then look at the underlying features and rank them against each other so you can see exactly how they compare. My suggestion, if you are trying to do this properly, to reach out to an insurance specialist who can do this comparison work for you. Step number 3, before you do anything else, apply for the cover that you need with your new provider. Now, assuming that you're confident that the new provider offers at least the same benefits that you have now, my suggestion is before rolling your money over from your current account to the new, that you initially apply for the insurance that you need with that insurance company. Depending on the level of insurance that you've applied for, the new insurance company is going to ask you a whole series of questions. This will take the shape of an application form, some potential medical tests, and even some further doctor's reports if required. This process is known as the underwriting process. Once the insurance company has completed this underwriting process, they're going to come back to you with one of 3 outcomes. Outcome number 1 is that they'll come back and accept your policy at what they call standard rates. Outcome number 2 is that they'll come back and they'll accept your policy but apply loadings and/or exclusions to the policy. The final outcome is that they'll come back to you and decline to offer you the cover that you've applied for. Finally, step number 4 is decide what to do from here. If the outcome from the underwriting process is number 1, that they've accepted your policy at standard rates and you're happy with all the other steps that you've done, you can confidently now move your balance from your existing fund to the new fund that you've just set up. If, however, the outcome is a loading or an exclusion, or furthermore a decline, you'll need to be really careful as to what you do from here. This doesn't mean that you can't move to this new provider. It just means that you're going to need to carefully consider what you're going to do with your existing insurances that you have with your current super fund. The good news is that you can have the best of both worlds. If you have experienced this, check out my other video that I'll put together to show you exactly what you need to consider at this point in time. So finding the right home for your super is really important, and I'm stoked that you're looking into this further. Hopefully you found this video in time to help make sure you don't make a costly emotional decision like I did moving out of home. If you are looking to switch super funds and you have some questions, please chuck them in the comments below. This will allow me to answer them for you down there and we can all learn off each other. Thanks again for checking out the video, and I'll see you all next week.